Hello everyone. Today we are going to perform an experiment whose title is Add a Subtractor Circuit. For this experiment, we will be implementing a full adder followed by a half subtractor. Coming to the principles of full adder, a full adder adds binary numbers and accounts for values created in and as well as out. A 1-bit full adder adds three 1-bit numbers, often written as A, B and CIN. A and B are the operands, and CIN is a bit carried in from the previous less significant stage. The circuit produces a 2-bit output. Output carry and sum typically represented by the signals Cout and S, where sum equals to Cout plus S. Basically, a full adder has three inputs, A, B and CIN, and two outputs, which is the sum and the carry. I will demonstrate how to implement a full adder using the trainer kit that you can see on our screen. Firstly, to implement a full adder, we would need IC number 7486, which is an XOR gate. We would also need IC number 7408, which is an AND gate, and 7432, which is an OR gate. We will be connecting the VCC and ground for each of these ICs. And now let's start making the connections. First, we will be using the input A, connecting it to the XOR gate input. We'll be using B and connecting it to the second input. The output of this XOR gate would be fed into the input of the next XOR gate. The next input CIN would be fed into this XOR gate. The output of this XOR gate will become the sum, which is depicted by the first output here. The carry would require inputs A and B to be placed into the inputs of the AND gate. The AND gate's output becomes the OR's input, as you can see. The output of the first XOR gate needs to be served as the input for another AND gate, and the input CIN needs to be fed as an input for the next AND gate. The output of this AND gate becomes the input for the OR gate, and the output of the OR gate becomes the carry, which is depicted over here. Now I'll start my simulation and you can see. So as you can clearly see, for inputs 0, 0, 0, your sum is 0 and your carry is 0. For inputs 0, 0, 1, your sum becomes 1, your carry is 0. For input 0, 1, 0, your sum remains 1 and carry remains 0. For input 0, 1, 1, your sum becomes 0, your carry becomes 1, as 1 plus 1 is 0 and carry is 1. For inputs 1, 0, 0, your sum becomes 1 and carry becomes 0. For input 1, 0, 1, your sum is 0 and your carry is 1. For input 1, 1, 0, your sum is 0, your carry is 1. And finally, for inputs 1, 1, 1, your sum is 1 and carry is 1. So this is the basic implementation of the entire full adder circuit. Coming to the half subtractor circuit, we would be using an IC 7486 and an IC 7408 and an IC 7404, which is XOR and NOT gates. So to begin implementing an half subtractor, we would be adding these respective ICs that I just mentioned. We would be having two inputs in a half subtractor, which is A and B, and two outputs, which is the difference and the borrow. We will be connecting the two inputs to the inputs of the OR, which is your A and B. The output of this XOR becomes the difference, which is depicted here. The AND gate would require two inputs. The first input would be of A, input of A, which is fed into the NOT gate first, and then the output of that NOT gate gets fed into the input of the first AND gate. The input for B is taken as is. The output of this AND gate becomes the borrow, as depicted here. Now I'll start the simulation and you can see the results. Okay, I haven't connected the IC, VCC and ground, so I'll just do that. So now I'll start the simulation. So as you can see, 0 minus 0 is nothing but difference of 0 and borrow of 0. For 0, 1, your difference is 1 as well as your borrow is 1 according to half subtractor truth table. For inputs 1 and 0, your difference is 1 and your borrow is 0, as 1 minus 0 is 1. And finally, for your inputs 1 and 1, your difference is 0, as 1 minus 1 is 0, with no borrow. So this is the overall implementation of a half subtractor.